The Advanced Options tab in Hub Settings is very robust. Each option has a short description of the feature. You can walk through these options with me as I display exactly what each one does. Keep in mind that you can pause at any time. This is a good video to watch again once you've worked through the course and get further into your build. So let's dive in. The first section we cover is Builder Administration. You have the ability to add builder admins to new channels automatically. By default, when you create a new channel, you are the only person who is added to that channel. If you toggle this on, the next time you create a new channel, it will add you and all of the other builder administrators so that they can help manage it. Now, why would you want to turn this on? When you're creating a new hub, you may be working with several people to get it done. It can get tedious if you're creating multiple channels, then have to go in and add every admin individually. This option quickly allows you to add all the people you trust to be builder administrators to the channels you're creating. Since you are the owner of the channel, you could remove them or change their channel role at any time. Alternatively, you can keep this toggled off and add users manually to channels you create. The next section is iHub App, letting you customize the specific features your users see and interact with. Here is your iHub App's URL, which you can select to visit. Or if you're on a desktop, right-click to copy and use elsewhere. Here is the QR code that can be printed and used in marketing efforts. You can change the width and height of the QR code that you download. You can create a QR code for any URL in your hub. For example, if I want to get a QR code for a specific event or page in my hub, I can copy the URL and place it here. The QR code below automatically updates with a brand new code. Next, you can toggle category view on or off, which collapses categories for users initially viewing channels. By default, this is toggled off, which means that in your hub, the category view looks like this. All categories are open, so you can see the channels they contain. This is great if you don't have many channels. However, when you have more channels or want to make this a little less overwhelming for users, collapsing this view by default is a better option. See? Much cleaner. Here you can enable or disable user uploads. This toggle allows users to submit content through your hub for moderation. When turned on, users logged into the hub will see a plus icon on their homepage and within a channel. Selecting the plus icon will allow them to submit content to that channel. This will be moderated by users that have access in the builder. If you toggle this off, users will no longer see the plus icon on the hub, nor can they submit content for review. We recommend giving users the ability to submit content as another way for them to engage with you. Still, we understand there are some instances where you wouldn't want to give users this ability. Disable channel comment moderation can be toggled on if you don't want to monitor any comments on your hub. By default, all comments need to be approved before they are seen on the hub by other users. If you want to open up the comment section across all channels to be approved automatically and show up, toggle this on. You can toggle on the left menu to always display on screens larger than 1280 pixels, which are typically desktop computer screens. By default, the menu is collapsed on all devices. If you toggle this feature on, bigger screens will automatically show the left menu, and it will remain open no matter where you go in the hub. We added this option because some clients wanted their hub to feel like a website when viewed on a computer. They also liked how the menu filled more of the screen and reduced the amount of empty space. Creating a custom experience and don't want to include sliders on the home feed? No problem. You can toggle them off here. We'll share more information about Hub customization in the next video. The last option in this section is slider speed. If you do have sliders on your Hub, you can control how fast one slider moves to the next by increasing or decreasing this number. For images with lots of information, you'll want to give users more time to take it in. The next section is registration, which covers options for your users as they go through the registration process. You can assign default channels for your Hub. New members are always added to the home channel when they sign up for your Hub. If you use this option, users will be added to the home channel, plus any additional channels you want them to be in. An example of a default channel would be an emergency channel to ensure all members are getting critical updates that affect the whole organization. Another example might be a community channel where users can upload their own content. Having them added to that channel when they register so they can immediately start uploading would be great. There is no limit to how many default channels you can add. However, we recommend keeping this to a minimum and encouraging users to pick the channels they want to join. They can choose to leave default channels at any time. Recommended channels are channels you can suggest users join as they are signing up for your Hub. What might they benefit most from as they're getting started? Like recommended channels, popular channels can also be shown to users as they are signing up for your Hub, encouraging them to join. Toggling Show Popular Channels On will show a list of the 5 most popular public channels during registration. Here's what that looks like from the user's perspective, with both recommended and popular channels turned on for a Hub. Note how the user can select which channels to join, or just skip entirely if nothing appeals to them. The last option for this registration section is the ability to include the user profile section. We highly recommend using this as people are more likely to fill out their profile during registration than afterwards. This is what the experience looks like if you have your user profile sections turned on. Notice how users have the ability to select the tags that are relevant to them during registration. Lastly, the newsletter section. Here you can include newly published content in the newsletter digest that gets sent to users on a weekly or daily basis. By default, this is turned on so all new content added to the Hub will go into the newsletter. You can control whether or not a post is included in the newsletter within the post options section for that specific post. When this toggle is on, the Include in Newsletter option for an individual post will also be on, and vice versa. Newsletter article limit controls how many posts are included in a single newsletter. The default is set to 5 so as to not overwhelm the user with a newsletter that is too long, but you can increase this. Remember, the newsletter is customized to each user depending on the channels that they are a part of. Even if you're pushing out hundreds of posts a week, a user isn't likely to be in all of the channels you're posting to, so you may not need as many articles in the newsletter as you think. Here is where you can adjust the newsletter subject line. By default, the subject line for a newsletter is the iHubApp name, daily or weekly newsletter, and then the date. If you toggle this option on, the newsletter subject line will be the title of the first post that is included in the newsletter. This option makes the newsletter dynamic, as it will change each time a newsletter is sent out. And last but not least is the weekly newsletter delivery day option, allowing you to set the day the weekly newsletter email is delivered to your users. If you find that users are more likely to open emails first thing Monday morning, change the delivery day to Monday. And that's all of the advanced options. Whew, that's a lot. But with each of these options, you can see just how powerful your iHubApp can be to deliver a digital experience uniquely suited to you and your users.